Yeah, going to
You just do what we're doing right now and just sit here and then just listening.
Classroom, there's hands-on
I mean,
classroom.
that's like almost a month.
Yes.
Yes.
My mother wasn't too happy of me coming in late every night and having to be at school.
That's just the entry level. And then after that, you want
Early, from 6
firefighter
to
1,
10 every other
firefighter 2, firefighter 3. It goes from there. There is a whole
We're going through a 16-hour
Different professional
driving class.
qualifications.
There's a whole gamut.
And Saturday with the actual driving portion of it.
Oh, really?
We start.
We're
No,
not-
no, no.
That I don't know.
There's
We're going to
I'm saying we're
cost.
gonna
Yeah.
have to have to pay somebody for their time to do this. And so that's what I was saying, yeah, so that's what I was gonna say
But the
too.
DCED doesn't charge.
I don't know.
I don't know.
If they're a government organization, I don't know.
But I also think the study should be done with a person who had never had any affiliate with Cecil Township.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did
Blind.
anybody
Needs
else?
to be
Blind
an
study.
independent blind study.
A couple years back, and probably was that back in 2001 when they tried to do the very first one, that their two candidates to do the study had affiliates with Cecil Township somewhere down the line. Yes.
I mean, the way it should work, when I say it should work, in theory, you come in, no history. Okay, Cecil Township has 10,000 people, all these buildings, and they say, what would it take? Where would you put the fire department? That's what the study's going to be. Then you're going to find out, oh, it's 10 million a year. We can't afford that. Then you're going to come down and break it apart to sound reasonable. And you know, we have a big township. And I know one fire department couldn't cover this whole township, so you're going to have multiple departments no matter what, even if you consolidate.
I would say, or one fire department with multiple locations.
Yeah, you could have one fire department.
Well, that's the same principle, yes.
That's basically what we're talking about.
That's exactly what South Strabane ended up doing.
Right, they had two
They
separate
came in and they
departments.
said the pancake station handled more of the firefighting end of, most of their calls were the firefighting and brush end, where the Oak Spring station handled a lot of the accidents on the interstate. So they said, you should put a rescue truck here, fire equipment there, this and that, and then they combined it as one fire company. They have, each station has, I believe, a battalion chief or a captain that's in charge of those stations, but overall they have one group of officers now. The president's, vice president, treasurer, all that oversees both as one fire company, but
We're working
they
towards that.
staff two separate stations. They were two independent fire companies before.
They combined it.
Yeah. Just one set of
Are
officers.
all
Instead of
three
duplicating.
departments okay with that?
We're working towards that.
We're working towards that.
Yeah, I guess so.
What?
Towards basically one combined.
But this is where we never had township support before. I mean, and when I say that, we weren't communicating well, and I'm fairly new too, but like Elizabeth says, she pushes grants, I push grants. There are grants to get paid firefighters during the day. There are grants to pay firefighters dividends like volunteers. But we never were combined and unified enough to, like, I mean, should I write a grant that we get 2 full-time people for 2 years paid by the federal government, but they stay in Lawrence?
That should not be your responsibility. That's the township's
That's what I'm
responsibility.
saying. We never had that kind of communication.
We have a grant writer.
Please, let me just ask you, or tell you a few things. What did you say, Cindy? Did you say we have a grant writer?
Yeah.
Who?
I forget her name. But
The girl in Ironwood?
No, there's no one.
Someone sent me a letter.
What?
Someone from Ironwood.
I got a letter, too.
there's a profession, we
Well, I would
have
sure
one.
like to have it. I talked to 2
Yeah, we
grant
hired
writers.
one. Yeah.
They're too busy to do
We
anything.
suggested it and we named someone at a meeting.
And whoever it was, I can't remember her name, there
I
was
can't.
someone, you have to tell them what you want and what grant you want it for.
Right.
Well, I don't know the answers to those questions. I expect somebody to go out and look for it and see what's available. And then she was too busy to do anything, so nothing was ever done with
Well,
her.
that was the.
Well,
There was a woman by the name of, her last name was Hazen or Hazen.
I got it in my email. so-
Yeah, she sent me an email when the state grant application came out.
Yes.
And the state grant is a fairly simple grant application.
Competitive.
Yeah, and Denny's been doing it for years, and was fairly easy. So I just told, but I did tell her that the township was interested in a grant writer and to contact the township. So
Nobody ever contacted me.
well,
Do this.
I think we do have her
If you find
information.
her name,
I
we'll
will.
help her, and I'll
Okay,
get in touch.
I think I have the letter.
I
That
have,
was a while
No
ago.
rush.
that
We
was
can give you- I mean,
a couple
I can
of,
give you a card, you can
what,
email
6
it.
weeks, a month ago?
Well, yeah, I hired one out of state, but here's what Ed was saying, that was a perfect example. There's all kind of grants, but if we're not unified, I shouldn't be writing a grant for 1/3 of the township,
No.
for a manpower.
Right.
But, on the other hand, if it didn't cost the township a dime, I didn't know if you'd even support it, so I'm not gonna go do all that work, I started to. Then they say, because even though it's technically not an employer, we could have handled everything. I mean, the billing, they even paid you 5% for administrative fees to pay salary, but we gotta get on some kind of same page here before we can talk about that kind of
But
stuff.
I think that's more you guys. I mean, if you came to us and said, and I can't speak
Well,
for board because they're
but-
obviously not here.
See,
Hold on, let me,
Go ahead,
just hear me out.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But we can't, I can't speak for the whole board because we're not here, but if you came to us as one unified group and said, look, we really want to submit this grant for a paid person, here's how we would separate their time, or they would spend one day here, one day there, or however you guys want it, because we can't do that for you. We don't know how Muse works, we don't know how Lawrence works, and we should know more details, but we don't. So, like, that's for the 3 departments to work out.
Herein
But
lies the
you've been
problem.
working very good recently.
We're getting the job done. We're talking about what you need for the future. There's nothing about today that we can't handle. I mean, I'm really proud of all the people around here. If there's a fire, there's a Cecil Township fire. There's not a Muse fire. There's not a Lawrence fire.
No, and we understand that. What I'm saying is, I can't, just like Alan said, I can't come into Muse and tell you how to run your fire department, even though technically we're supervisors and, you know, we're the one, we can't tell you how to do that. You need to come to us and kind of like what you did tonight and say, look, this is what we need, this is the grant we want to apply for, this is how we're going to move that person around, and we can then write a letter of support or whatever you need to help you with that, but we can't do it for you.
But we haven't had general direction too. We do need general direction from you, what you want to support and what you will support. Trust me, I heard rumors over the years where they turned down. I was told that South Point was originally, they were going to buy the equipment and station, and you had a man up, and they said no. The township said no back
It
then.
hasn't happened while I've been on the board.
When the South Point was first being,
Yeah, when it was first developed, I
the
remember too, that
the
they
business
would build a station,
and
they would
supply
buy
the
the
equipment.
equipment, you would have to man it, and the township said, nope.
The
we
people, the
won't."
supervisor at the time said no.
I never heard that.
I never did.
And that was said. I don't know whether that's true or
You
not.
know, if it's an urban myth or
but I've
whatever.
heard that was.
Well, there's a lot that goes on today that I don't know about.
Well, right, I mean, what you're saying is correct, but we need a general direction, we need to work together, but we are 3 independent fire companies, and that's not an issue, it's,
Here's what
Can
I want to
can I give
say.
you an honest opinion?
Mhm.
Go ahead. Go ahead, finish it.
No, I'll do it.
All right. In conclusion, with what we've learned tonight, there are 4 things that I favor doing. Number 1, the software program for the 3 fire departments. Number 2, that who is it, Bruce Bosley, before a permit for commercial is granted, that the fire departments are contacted to do a walkthrough. You know, what?
Do a walkthrough.
Do a walkthrough, okay. And that we agree, and we'll know tomorrow whether we can hire consultants, and I'll find out who they are. And then finally, is to get me the names of any grant writers that you have, and any grants that are available for anything that has to do with our township. Now, is there anything else that we can do tonight that's reasonable? And in the meantime, consider baby steps. And these are, I don't even consider.
we are, like the 30,000, I'm not saying that as a number, but as a thing to keep volunteers or get incentives. I mean, there's all kind of little steps to migrate that way, and it may be a grant. If we could get 2 people in the township that you could see, hey, they're always here, it's worth it, maybe that will happen. We're with you, but I would just say, and I had this written down, I know you talk about roads, and I know you talk about the reserve and what it's for, but I think you better earmark $2 million for public safety. I'm just telling you, get you in the ballpark.
I mean, the reality.
Not spend, just
No, but I mean,
earmark.
if I'm being realistic, and this is not, Elizabeth's right. If we're a 19 million, if we're a 21, if we're a Peters with a 21, you can spend $2 million. We're at $7 million. Even if we didn't have a lot of the other things that we had going on, I still don't see right now that we could spend $2 million.
So, but
Go ahead.
But it was okay right now, just to go out and hire 3 public works people right off the street.
No, I wouldn't have done it if I was here.
Now, wait a minute, 2 million for what?
But it was
Earmark
done.
reserve for,
I wasn't here.
we need $1 million engine, or we are gonna build a building and combine something, or just in case that emergency comes where an engine goes out of service or whatever. I mean, you're talking that kind of money in reserve, but hopefully if I get my fire grant and get a $500,000 engine, that means I won't have to draw from that or ask the township to sign for a loan. You know what I mean? There's ways of getting it, and I really think
And what's the 2 million for?
earmark for public safety down the road, like you said, to go in baby steps.
$2 million in a year?
No,
Overall.
that 2 million, and you might not have to touch it, or you might have to take 100,000 here, or,
Like a reserve
I
account.
see what you're
yeah,
saying.
earmark it, that's,
Okay.
yeah, not spend it. That's my goal, and that's baby steps to make it. But,
Yeah, you got other communities, Upper St. Clair, they're totally volunteer, that all their apparatus and equipment and station is owned by the township. They foot the bill for it. They own it, they bought it, they paid for it.
and while we're talking about money, well, I'm not sure we're getting all the money we're supposed
Peters
to.
Township, we
Oh,
used to
really?
do,
Let me talk.
okay, good.
I mean, about that.
Okay.
About living in Doron, you know, the multiple zip codes in that we have here in the businesses, are we sure, they sent letters out from Mount Lebanon Borough to all their businesses, even though you have this zip code, you put Mount Lebanon down as your fire department, because that's where the relief money in that comes from. And we might not be talking $1 million here, but we might be talking another 100,000 a year, and South Point, everybody has Canonsburg addresses, Canonsburg may be getting our money.
I got asked for the Canonsburg fire trucks.
I have a
Canonsburg
That's
address.
something the township can do, it doesn't cost us anything,
There's
just let us make sure your records
There's
are ready.
Ridgeville address.
We
I have a
had-
McDonald's zip code.
Yeah, and
We
if
had a fire back in 2004, 2005, we were on Ironwood Drive. Guy, there was, you guys were there first,
Before me.
and then we pulled in, and Cecil was there, and I believe, at the time, my brother was maybe the fire chief. No, it had been about 2007.
Is that the house where?
Wintertime.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
fireplace?
The guy come out of the house and told us, why isn't Canonsburg Fire Department here? Because they are our fire department.
Seriously?
Yes.
Yeah.
They wanted to know why Canonsburg's fire truck was way in the back of the line, why they were there last.
Behind the Port Authority bus.
Behind the Port Authority bus that pulled in before them.
That we called
So,
in to keep the.
so just to keep us warm.
Because it was ice, it was
Yeah.
snow.
I was in Tampa.
So, yeah, that's what Canonsburg wants to know where their fire
Don't
department's
worry
at.
about the burning house.
So you understand my point, that relief money that Dawn released to us last month comes from insurance policies, comes from the paperwork.
We can check into that.
I mean, and there was,
That relief money probably tripled or more in the last 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
definitely, but look at the
We
size of
started
South Point
to-
alone.
And there is,
A better formula.
yes, and when you buy homeowners insurance, they are supposed to ask you which municipality you live in, not what, you know, they ask for
I actually
your.
just got a letter from
Yeah.
my homeowner's insurance.
Because back in
But a lot of people think they're
Back in the
Canonsburg, they think
70s,
Canonsburg. They think it's
we
South
did
Point.
that all by hand.
We
It
went,
it gave me.
You see how we're disjointed and things like, little things like that, we could be losing money?
I'm not gonna say who, just who it was, but a lot of people in the room, that first couple houses on Burnside Road has a McDonald's address.
On Burnside or?
On Burnside Road, there's like 2 houses that got a McDonald's address. He used to be a fireman at our fireman, he showed me. He got a donation drive sent to his house from McDonald Fire Department.
I get one every year.
So I'm not saying McDonald's taking anything off anybody, because I would never blame them for that. But
That's not.
It's happened.
how many other,
But I wonder, like, I was just.
like, how many other companies and like, don't know this? And so they're paying
A
for
lot
that.
of people don't know
The
that.
commercial buildings on Mayview Road in Lawrence, they all got Bridgeville addresses, they think, they said, and it's a form, they said, we thought we said it to Bridgeville.
The biggest thing that when they advertise, if you see one of their commercials on TV, on their vehicles, okay? Like the ones on Mayview Road, it says Bridgeville, PA. Can't hold anything on South Point.
Like,
It's
I just-
Canonsburg, PA.
We were at, I was at something.
The National Cemetery says Bridgeville, PA.